honestly, are you available to talk in chat? You are like, we used to do this all the time, and it bothers me that we don't. Are you available to talk in Discord for like 10 minutes? I would love to have a conversation with you, a mini podcast about the situation and get your opinions. Guys, can you get your field support man in chat? It's Bored and Torque Talk, like the old days. I'm just gonna find you in our private conversation and call you. There.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Is this working?
It's working. You sound as beautiful as ever.
Well, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. How's it going, dude?
It's going okay. So I explained earlier before you got here that like everything that they're saying, I feel makes perfect sense. Obviously, OCS is hard to do. If they gave us OCS with the 3.3 drop, it would be a disaster, most likely, which is why they're putting it in 3.3.5, right? These guys are game developers. They know more than us about this shit, especially about this OCS stuff and everything, right? And how it's going to work with the game, blah, 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 blah. It's the thing that bothers me is that we've gotten kind of excited about this thing. And part of the reason why we got excited is it's our own fault. You know, we got excited about something that we don't have in our hands yet. But part of the reason why we got excited is because they got us excited about it. And then it's the same old song and dance where we have a delay. We have something that changes. They talk about it for literally 10 seconds when they spent an hour on a $650 ship that they really want to sell. And it's like, what's important to you? Is it kind of, telling us what's happening with game development, being an open game developer, or being a ship seller, And that's where I'm like getting kind of just bored. I'm getting tired of it. And that's like just how I feel. And like one of the things that Disco said was, we promised this to you in 2018 that this is how we're going to be. And I said, well, what I'd like to get a promise of in 2019 is a lot better communication and better community management in 2019, and that be your focus. And that's the overall what I've said. Obviously, like sometimes I've gotten louder and saltier in between, but that's the general feeling of how I feel. And like, what do you think about what's going on, and what are your feelings?
I mean, we haven't had a major Star Citizen patch if we haven't had some major disappointment. Like it comes hand in hand a lot of the time, unfortunately.
Well, we haven't had a single Star Citizen patch without some disappointment.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, right? And it's it's partly it's largely CIG's fault with disappointment stuff because of the way they hype it, and content creators' fault, like me, for hyping it.
And me,
yeah. Because we do hype stuff. You are more realistic, Turk. You are much more realist about stuff and about how you feel about things, which is great. Whereas I am very sort of like, because I'm manic, I typically record when I'm on the upside.
Yeah, but I also think the type of content you do is taking what the community team is saying, what Disco's team is saying and putting out there, and just bundling it up into a cleaner package with an English accent. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is.
So you're not really hyping anything. You're taking what they do, which is hype, and discussing it and giving some of your opinions about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're not really, it's like, don't put the blame on yourself with that, because there's, it's what your channel has evolved into, and it's what you do best right now, Yeah,
I think I'm relatively moderate. Like, I'm obviously a Star Citizen fan. Otherwise, I wouldn't cover the game. But with the object container streaming stuff, like it's a disappointment that it's not in 3.3.
Yes.
But that I am slightly devil's advocating some bits here, because it is disappointing. Whatever I fucking say, I'm not defending that it's not in that patch, because I wanted it in 3.3. We've wanted object container streaming for ages.
In 3.0,
like in 3. But we don't want the game to constantly be fucking remade, and there's been some major hurdles on the way with like Ilphonic and poor management, things like that have slowed down the game significantly. Even the addition of planetary landings, I think it's a great thing, but it's slowed down the game development by a year.
By more than a year.
Yeah.
By more than a year. because now object container streaming is so much more difficult to do and all these things because they literally have to package a giant fucking planet and do object container streaming with elements that are so much larger and have so much more object containers than anything ever. So it must be more difficult, you know? But it's what the game has turned into, and it's one of the reasons why we're so excited about it. So it's like a positive and a negative.
So to CIG's credit, when you're talking about transparency and them being communicative, they have been getting better. I mean, they still need to go a long way.
They do.
But typically, if this was this time last year or the year before, we wouldn't have been told that object container streaming probably wasn't coming until the 10th of October. It would have been, we decided at the last day not to put it in the live build. We'll have a 3.3.5
That's
build.
true. You know, I'm maybe feeling the way I do because we're spoiled by what we have.
We're not spoiled at all, okay?
No, but the roadmap is a really good feature, so that's what I mean.
It's a great step forward.
Yeah.
It's a great step forward. And they need to make more. They need to be as transparent as possible. I want to see all of the major milestones that we've got from now to completion of the game. What are all those features? Where have they got them roughly planned over the next couple of years? I've been talking about there's probably going to be a beta in a couple of years. I think that's true. That might not be true. They might say, oh, no, we've got 4 years of features left to do before beta.
Yeah.
Like they need to be more specific. And we need to start really, I'd like to see the design documents as they are on each of the gameplay mechanics. I know they're going to change massively.
But you know they're there. But here's the thing. But here's the thing. Give them to you, right? You are a little smarter and have been around a little bit longer to understand that they're gonna change. But the things like when a fucking little bit or a bob changes on a spaceship, some people lose their shit. So that's the big thing. Is part of the problem is the vocal minority of the community, and part of the problem. Yeah, of course, you get that in any community. But the problem is that's how CIG handles their communication is based off of that. Where in a lot of cases they do things because they don't want to piss people off, but then sometimes they do things that piss people off because they just don't think. They don't have somebody that has their finger on the pulse of the community that knows how we're going to react. Like the whole streaming on their website thing is still the dumbest idea that they've had yet, as far as their marketing goes.
The other thing is that like they clearly have people that know what they're talking about at CIG. They can't have been listened to when they were talking about
they can't have been. They weren't asked.
I can't imagine people not saying stuff. And that no one's scared, as far as I'm aware, no one is scared about speaking up. I just don't think they could have been listened to. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it just seems they do some dumb decisions with marketing, and they're not like the end of the world decisions, but they're just sort of like, this is going to damage the amount of money you make. It's as simple as that. What? And just a little tiny bit of vetting your marketing and thinking about what the community and how they're going to react, or maybe just being more open with communication before you do something stupid, like the original referral program scheme that they did last year. Like that was just for major content creators. I mean, elitism.
No, it's not. But I actually, before you got in here, I discussed that. I said that, and I sent you a message. But yeah, the thing about the referral program is that like some people, somebody in the chat had mentioned that like they don't care about their content creators or something like that, and I was like, they absolutely do. That's why they did the referral program, because they did see the value in us. And just because you're not a content creator and you can't take part in it doesn't mean that that wasn't something that was kind of needed. And that was their way of saying, thank you for doing what you do. You guys don't have to do it. So here you go, And I am okay. And I know this is coming from me being a quote unquote content creator, where, I benefit from the program, but at the same time, that's them telling me that like we care and about what you're doing, and we appreciate what you're doing. in a way,
giving away a ship and potentially giving away a ticket to one person, which they didn't give away.
No,
is
that
that
referral program was stupid. The whole thing of the contest is the bad part about it. The actual referral program is fine. It's the contest when you don't have much of a game to play yet. It's a contest where you're asking people to sell referrals when it's difficult to do so. I had somebody come in here and say, "Should I buy this game?" And I told them no.
Well, if they say I want to buy a game, you go, nope, not ready yet.
I told them it's not a game yet. You know, and it's just one of those things.
Project. So Star Citizen for me is amazing. Like, I'm disenfranchised with most other games, and I'm constantly bored with most games.
Me too.
Like, there's nothing really
because of this game. It's ruined it.
No. Like, Star Citizen for me is like the best project I've ever followed. Like, I love being involved with it. I love the community. I love what they produce with it. But it's not a sit down and play game for mainstream yet.
Not yet. It's the potential of the project that's so exciting. That's what's so exciting about it, is the potential. But that's the bad thing about all of this, is the potential. We get so excited, and then we get let down every time, because this is apparently what game development's like. None of us have been game developers. Most of us haven't. There's some software developers that were in chat, and we're like, this happens all the time. Like, chill out. But what they don't understand is, like, I'm not you. I don't know how that works. And when I'm told to get excited, basically, or when I get excited by, marketing content, which is what ATV and RTV and Calling All Devs is, Calling All Devs is actually like decent community content, engagement type of stuff. But these other things are just essentially marketing content that gets me excited about the game. And don't get upset at me for getting excited and then being upset when for the 5th year in a row I've been told at month 1 of the year that I was going to get X, Y, and Z in month 6 of the year, and then I don't even have A, B, or C yet.
I think one of the things is that they are working on huge amounts of the game simultaneously. Because object container streaming isn't ready or gets delayed, doesn't mean the rest of the game's not being worked on. They've got over 500 people now.
But the thing is that you're right. But that is part of the problem now, because they explained this in the object container streaming, RTV, is that now we have tech that is reliant on other tech. We can't work on this until this is done.
Yeah. So there's lots of other stuff they can work on.
Of course, but none of that stuff matters if you don't have the groundwork to make the game. So they can sit there and design gameplay, but does it really matter, and can it really make it into the game and be fun and enjoyable and playable?
It can't make it into the game until after object container streaming's done. But I mean, you've got to also remember that Star Citizen is made currently for the minority. Like, the game is not ready for a mainstream game, and it's not going to be for a long time. So them not getting object container streaming in 3.3 is a drop in the water, effectively. It's not this major thing. They are getting it there as soon as they can, but it's just disappointing, because we want it so bad. We want Hurston, we want object container streaming. We know it's other than server meshing, the last of the core tech.
I don't care about Hurston. I just want the part, exactly, the core tech, the ability for them to make the game. I need to know that this game can be made. That's where I'm at right now. Because at this point, I don't know until I see it. You can tell me that, they can say it all day, but you need to show me.
I don't have a doubt that they can make the game. Like, there is literally no doubt in my head. I have been shown via office tours and by the stuff that they provide every week that the game can be made. However, there is obviously a huge amount of delays and time that's taken to make the game. And if for some reason they can't do server meshing the way they want, they will find another way of doing it, or they'll have to make concessions. But they will do it.
But if they have to make concessions, then it's not the game that we bought into.
Yeah, but it will still be the best of what they can do.
Of course.
And that's part of the ride. Like, we need to we need to make sure that they do the right things for the project as much as we can as a community.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we're not the 99% of us are not game devs that are part of the community, and the ones that aren't part of the Star Citizen project, like into their inner team and inner circle, so they're not privy to everything. So as much as their opinions do matter to the project, they might
now
Chris and the other guys might have a vision for the project that might still be a more sensible idea. We might be able to offer opinions and suggestions for stuff, but they still might overrule us saying, well, yeah, that's a great idea. However,
I mean, and I just want to point out one thing, and I don't want to put you in a spot, and I don't think this will, is there's no way, though, that you've seen, like, whatever you've seen in an office tour, there's no way that you've seen tech that in front of your eyes that proves that they can make the game to the scale that they want to make it with the amount of people that they want to make it.
Yeah, that's server meshing. So
there's no way that you could have seen that stuff because
you're right.
You can't do it until we can't see it until we have it, right? Same thing with the OCS. We don't really know how it will work until we have it. And I mean like in the really big open PTUs.
Do you genuinely think, and you don't have to agree with me, you can have whatever fucking opinion you want, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you think that they will go for, if they can't do server meshing in the way they want, do you think they will just go for the next best alternative? And do you think that can still be a good game?
What's the next best alternative, though? Is the next best alternative like...
Do you remember what they originally talked about with the servers? Where they were all on top of each other?
Yeah, where I can be in the same place as you, but if I'm not on your friends list or I'm not important to you, I won't see you.
That's basically it. So you'd have like a few servers on top of each other. They'd all communicate to the same god AI.
Yeah.
And they'd still, so if I killed Pirate Chris Roberts in that, he'd still be dead. He'd still be properly dead. But it would register the importance of people. Because I think that, I mean, that's the next best alternative that they've talked about, although there are probably other alternatives. And as they get towards server meshing, they might even go, oh, actually, we've got something similar to server meshing, which is actually better we've got in mind now.
Like, because it could be quite a few, time down the road or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that we get server meshing by the end of next year. I'm hoping that's the thing and I'm hoping that object container streaming and server meshing and all of that core tech works to a good standard by the end of next year. Because I genuinely would like a beta by the end of the year after. Like that's what I want.
Yeah. And like Detox says this, like, what do people want though? They're developing a new tech. They realize it's fucking difficult. Bugs come out every nook and cranny from left field. What they predict week in, week out changes all the time. We have their internal roadmap, sort of. And it's always subject to change. That's transparency. Like, we want transparency, but then we get mad about the transparency. So, like, obviously that's a good point.
Because it's not Okay, so the reason we get mad is because we're going to get mad whatever. They can mitigate a lot of that madness by being more transparent, quicker, and giving us more of an idea of the internal development for like the larger major milestones. And maybe they will at CitizenCon. Maybe that's the last thing was like a roadmap updatey thing at the bottom. Road to release, I think.
Road to release, yeah.
Like, and maybe they will. I mean, like, seeing Squadron 42, having that in our hands is going to go a long way of people going, yeah, great, this game is doable. Like, the multiplayer aspect is, if they don't get server meshing right, then it's going to be a bit different than everyone in the same server sort of thing that we will want, because that would be fucking great. I say we all want. A lot of people probably don't want that. A lot of people probably want PvE experience rather than PvE. But one of the other things I wanted to mention, Twerk, actually, was that as far as I'm aware, although as far as I'm aware, the 3.3 Vacati build is still going to be broken up into object container streaming and not object container streaming.
Yeah, I would assume so. Because we have to help with the bugs.
Yes.
For both.
So, but that might even extend to the PTU build that goes first wave and everything. So it may still be testable by the masses. It might just be buggy as hell. Like I think maybe it's reining your expectations for first iteration of object container streaming.
And you'll probably see why there's a 3.3.5 and everyone would be like, okay,
And if it is only a couple of weeks to, I mean, it's pegged at the moment, according to the very lightweight roadmap, being mid quarter 4 for 3.3.5. So what, that's like 6 weeks.
Yeah, so it's right. I mean, basically, it's right in between 3.3 and 3.4, right?
Yeah, and that might give us a more refined 3.3 branch. Like we're going to get better. We're obviously going to get a better object container streaming because of it than if it was implemented today. But maybe we'll get some extra features, though that's unlikely. But I'm assuming we'll get more bug fixes in that 3.3.5 branch that typically would have been pushed to 3.4.
Yeah. Now, people are looking at that as a positive thing. And here's the big thing that I hate about this is,
let's work on 3.4.
Hey,
I'm kinda bored, no pun intended, of hearing that SQ42 will come out so much earlier than SC going beta or something. Both games share way too much of the core tech.
I'm kind of bored, no pun intended, of hearing Squadron 40. This is from IDD. Of hearing Squadron 42 will come out so much earlier than Star Citizen is going beta or something. Both games share too much of the core tech.
No, they don't show server meshing. It's multiplayer. The multiplayer aspect of Star Citizen is mind-boggling, and with the AI and stuff they need for multiplayer, like that is a huge hurdle.
Like, yeah, I mean, go play a server by yourself that no one has ever joined. You are the first person. You are the only person on a server, and it's still very unoptimized, right?
You wouldn't need object container streaming if it was single player.
No, you would, because like they said that object container streaming is on mostly single player games. They would use it, but you wouldn't need, I guess, the server side one, and you wouldn't need it as much.
There are other just culling techniques they could use, is what I'm saying. Like the object container streaming works great for the whole vision they've got of Star Citizen as a whole.
Yeah, but I think you would still need it, but yeah, it wouldn't be as much of a hurdle. I think the hurdles that they're having is creating it within a multiplayer experience. I think it would have already been done by now if it was only intended for a single player experience.
I don't think people agree with me, but honestly, there are other.
Well, IDD like works on games, so I think he is educated on this a little bit. So he's probably right.
Is now tied into Star Citizen. They can't now remove it or anything. But I'm saying that if there was just a single player game they were trying to do, they would have. Thanks, someone agrees with me. Thank you. I'll pay you later. But if there was just a single player game, they could have just done a different technique, not object container streaming, and it would have been at least as effective. Like object container streaming is great for lots of cool stuff and for multiplayer and like huge universes. But with Squadron 42, they can hide load of stuff. I mean, they can really hide a load of stuff. They don't need to have loads of crazy stuff going on at once. It's only what you're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, for me, it's just I don't know. I'm just tired of it's the same old story with the whole, this is what's coming, and then it doesn't. And then it's about a ship sale.
Mate.
It's just hard to understand what's happening. And
if you're in with Star Citizen for the long run, it's going to be another 10 years of this, mate.
Oh yeah, easily.
The game's release is going to be disappointment, push and pull. The mid quarter lulls in Star Citizen now.
I haven't had one. I've been playing the game. I've been enjoying the crap out of it, and I'm like, all right, well, it's my gameplay experience is going to improve pretty soon. I'm pretty excited about that. You know what I mean? Like I'm here right now. I've played mostly Star Citizen throughout this entire month, let's say. I've just done cargo hauling, I've done mining, I've hung out, I've had a great time on my stream. I have more subs than I've ever had. The top bits in this fucking thing are absolutely ridiculous. Like
I just looked at how many Sawyer's given.
Yeah, that's a lot of the amount of conversation that we've had in chat has been so great. Like this has been a completely different experience than I've had. And
what I've noticed,
I don't feel the lull at all.
Well, since they've changed to these quarterly releases, I've noticed that we as a community, and it might just be the vocal minority, but we've become more like fruit flies. And what I mean by that is that our sort of like our peaks and troughs of anger
are much lower.
Things, I find them much higher.
Are they
So
much
I find
higher? No, are they? See, I feel like
much
mine
more
are lower,
erratic.
and they don't happen as often. Because I mean, you got to go back to 3.0, and it was just like a whole year of fuck them, fuck these guys. I can't
Well,
believe this is still happening.
That
Another,
just like bottomed out. But what I find now
you
is
know,
it's sort of like I'm angry about this. Oh, now I'm okay. There's been a release. Now I'm angry about this, or I'm bored for a week. And I find it much more erratic.
yeah,
From reading like Reddit and reading like what other media stuff. Like because what I do basically for my job is watch and read all the Star Citizen content I can from all sources that I can, whether it's total trash, like
yeah.
genuine like, super trolls, or if it's great articles, or if it's even German articles. I've been reading all the French, German, and Spanish articles recently. Because there's a load of information in some of those other articles which are not public knowledge beyond those articles.
Yeah.
Like the GameStar articles had a load of information that I didn't know about.
Yeah, it sucks that they do that too.
Yeah, it does. And it's weird.
That's like where the whole communication and community thing is just like, what the fuck, guys? We've been sitting here on ATV having, relatively shitty ATVs for the last 3 months, some shit like that. Because they're saying, hey, we're gonna hide some stuff for CitizenCon, so you guys get excited for CitizenCon. So we're not gonna show everything on these ATVs coming up. And then they drop like a GameStar magazine article that shows, some really cool stuff, like the size comparison between a moon and what we have in Hurston, and like like a lot of cool things like that. And it's like, what the hell? But I do want to ask this question that Weirder asked to you because I want to get your opinion on this. Do you think CIG could potentially lose support from the community if they continue with their current trends?
What do you mean support from the community?
Both buying ships, maybe. And I mean, in general, I think we negatively support them with our voices, but we still tend to support them with our wallet.
So it's both yes and no, isn't it? Star Citizen becomes more mainstream and picks up more traction, even if it's slower or faster or whatever. So more people come in, and some people are, I hate this, I'm going to vote with my wallet. Other people are like, no, I like the fact they're so honest. I'm going to support my wallet. And yeah, I mean, as long as CIG aren't like going around clubbing seals or doing something terrible and that is demonstrably like, no, why the hell are you doing that? And they don't try and fix it.
Like the CitizenCon debacle. If they stuck with their guns there with that, I think that would have been a big problem.
Now, can we call that a debacle? Because they fixed it within hours.
No, but the original idea was just a giant dumpster fire.
So what it is that, okay, so I've talked to CIG about this at Bar Citizens and said, what you want to be like is like Blizzard one day. So I feel partly responsible because it's sort of like we're trying to be like Blizzard in that sense.
It was your fault all along?
No,
it was Bored's fault the whole time.
But you know what I mean, though? So, like,
yeah,
BlizzCon, because they have lots of released products and a developed, mature community that can all play their many games.
10 years from now, when
they've got a game out, 2 games out, more.
Yeah, when they've developed games like using all this amazing tech that they developed to make Star Citizen to make other games that work with that tech. And now it's Cloud Imperium games and not Star Citizen. You're going to CIG Con, right?
Yeah.
They might still call it Citizen Con. Like, they might still call their community citizens or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Citizen Con is amazing what they've done with that. Star Citizen has an unprecedented community. It's a game in alpha that is buggy as fuck and has been full of delays and various ups and downs, but some awesome stuff as well. But there's got a developed community that love the game.
Which is ridiculous.
And they have full fan fests now. Last year's fan fest for CitizenCon was amazing. And this year's is probably going to be, well, it's twice as big. So I'm assuming twice as good, maybe. I mean, hard to quantify.
Depends on what they show. Like last year, they showed some interesting stuff, right? It was a pretty good event.
I delayed the game another year. No!
No!
No. I'm not taking responsibility for that. But you see what I mean? Like, the idea of doing ticketed things like Blizzard do, maybe in the future, maybe BlizzCon tickets in the future, stuff like that. But you need a developed community. You need You need games. You need products.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, I always think that they think that they're bigger and better than they are. I mean, so often do they, because they're trying to be, but the thing is they can't. You can't try to be. You just are. You know what I mean? And you like all too often on ATV and RTV and all these things, they talk about Star Citizen like it's like what is out there and playable now is like this releasable, like playable, enjoyable product. Where
it's the double-edged sword.
It is, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's double-edged sword.
It feels forced.
It's 100%. It's so forced, but they've gone every single alpha quarter released. We are packaging up like it is a released, updated patch for a released product, and it's just not.
It's just not. Yeah, it's
just not.
Like this patch though is a really big step for it being that, because. Like, guess what, guys? We're not getting OCS, but they've still mentioned ship rentals in the PU, which is fine because you get so many patches, and when they update the patch, the persistence of the back end for your amount of money, like that updates a lot. So it might as well just be ship renting instead of ship purchasing because it's the same thing anyway. But that's a massive step into creating the game and having that gameplay loop. Is like, okay, OCS isn't there, initially. They may not be able to build out this universe as big as we would like them to, as fast as we would like them to, but they are, putting that ship rental thing in there. How long you rent the ships for is going to be really key. I think it should be more than a week.
As long as they're obtainable in-game and it's not sort of like mega grind fest to rent.
I think it might be pretty. I mean, like but some ships should be a mega grind fest to rent.
Yeah,
like
890 jump, yeah.
Yeah, an 890 jump, and some of these really big, like the the Reclaimer and stuff, and these really big, massive, client destroying fucking ships should be really a hard thing to grind to, and it should be a cool thing. Like, I worked so hard to get here, and now I'm walking around this big, awesome ship.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting the ship rentals in the Persistent universe without object container streaming, because I think it's a shop in Hurston.
That's bullshit. That's such fucking bullshit, okay? Because you can put a computer screen anywhere. It is a shop in Hurston that you go to a terminal to. So if right now, like I'm gonna say this, we have a long time before this patch comes out. If right now, CIG, that you are not putting out object container streaming on October 10th, and you are going to release 3.3, and one of those features, which is a major feature, is ship rentals in the PU, something that we as a community have been asking for a very long time, you put a fucking screen in Olisar, Grimhex, and on Levski. You put a screen there to rent a ship. If you don't put that in, that is fucking bullshit.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. Like, we needed ship rentals. Well, we've needed.
Don't tell me that you need a fucking store in the game and the lore in the game to put that in there. Get a grip. Get a grip. There's no way. They won't do it. I believe you, Le DJ. But put a screen in Port Olisar. Let's go. Like it's an alpha. Who cares? You don't need the store. Let the people play the game. Let the people have some progression in the game. And I mentioned it before you got here too, is that like the actual component purchasing for ships, like they're pretty expensive. So it is progression. You do have to grind to do it, but it doesn't really create like that much of a difference. Whereas getting a new ship that you've never seen or never played before is. It just ups the experience of the players like so greatly. Just fucking put the screen in the game. Who cares what it looks like and where it is?
I think the chat think that I'm unprepared for your opinions, but me and Twerk, we used to talk privately a lot.
Yeah. This is just our private conversation live on stream, and this is, and Bored, you can attest to that, where I am exactly the same. All the time. Like I just feel the way I feel, and that's it.
But it's great that you talk about it like that, And that's great that we're not paid or endorsed or get stuff from CIG, because we can have these opinions. We're not locked down. I was reading about an NVIDIA streamer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he said don't buy the new 20 series cards until you've seen the actual third-party benchmarks. And he lost his sponsorship with NVIDIA because of that, and they took away his gaming rig that was theirs. But like that, can you imagine that shit? Like,
oh, man. If CIG closed my account because I told somebody not to buy the game.
Oh,
God.
I mean, I do. Okay.
They probably could, too.
Well,
they can close your account for whatever reason.
Can they, though?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, but I mean, you'd fight that. I mean, you could fight that with social media and stuff. I mean, I always
honestly,
worry that
I don't even know if I would.
Do you know, one day, like, what if they did go, right, we're putting takedown notices on all your videos, fuck you. Like,
yeah.
What if they did do that? What if they were evil? What if they're an evil org?
They should have. I think they probably should have striked your video where, and I'm surprised they didn't strike these videos.
Whoa.
The one. I mean, they fucking bitched about it. Chris bitched about it. Where there's some videos that like you did, and then a bunch of other people where they took the where you
gameplay. We got the gameplay footage and we made it better.
Yeah.
Cut it. Made it better.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry that I gave you game exposure. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I know. But they were so not happy about that. They want their YouTube fucking to be. It's very clear that they like want their YouTube channel to be this like. Their YouTube content's like really important to them. I don't know, like that one.
Why don't they monetize it then? I mean, if their YouTube channel was there for exposure, like it should be for the game,
it should be monetized.
Monetize it. And they don't monetize it, then they should just want as much exposure as possible.
But isn't the whole YouTube like algorithm thing is like if you're not monetizing, then you're not.
Yeah, so it would be
taking advantage of YouTube.
If I was promoting them and showing them how to do stuff, yes, you want to actually monetize your stuff, but you don't want to put any unskippable ads in.
Yeah.
So you want anything that people.
The minimal monetization is what they should do, right?
To help the Google algorithm promote them.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Not to monetize it to make money off of it. It's to monetize it. I mean, yes, to make money off of it, but to use it better as the marketing tool, which is what they use it for.
Any other content creator using those clips or redistributing them gets them more exposure.
And that's the whole point, yeah.
As long as they're working within fair use, as long as they've edited it reasonably, as long as they've put credit in, as long as they put their links in and stuff like that. Obviously, sometimes it's commentary, whatever, or they've used it for educational purposes. As long as they're going towards fair use, that's fine. What I don't agree with is people going, "Oh no, this is a bad idea." Like that idea was stupid. Someone must have said that to Chris. Someone must have told Chris that was a bad thing.
No,
I can't see how it is.
What are you talking about? The digital pass?
No, the content creators redistributing.
Oh, videos, they clearly didn't want us to do that.
I don't understand why.
Me neither.
I understand with the digital pass, like they were like, we don't want people restreaming it and redistributing it because we want to be in control of it with our digital passes. I understand why they were talking about it then. More,
but at the same time, they had no. Okay, so like Darkest Mind in chat says that's what I don't agree with you about from earlier. Is they were fully aware that the digital pass was cutting you guys out in terms of us restreaming it on Twitch, which is something we've done for many years now to provide a better chat experience for the Star Citizen fans that are here every day that don't want to be in a chat that says, all the, Voldemort was right and all these other things that nobody wants to hear, like all the negative things, all the bullshit, all the spam in chat. They want to still have that Star Citizen community experience. Well, you can't have that Star Citizen community experience in the main live channel on Twitch or whatever. And I mean, the chat experience on Spectrum and all that is not that great either, right? So it's something we've always done. And I think Darkest thought that they knew that they were cutting out this, thing that the community actually, at least the Star Citizen Twitch community, actually does enjoy taking part in. I don't think Chris had any fucking clue. Chris brought me out to Gamescom and then brought me on stage, shook my hand, and asked me what my name was. He didn't even know who I was. You really think that Chris,
for us?
You really think Chris Roberts knows that, like, that me, WTFosaurus, Bored, and a few other people, like, went on a stream last year and restreamed CitizenCon and discussed it and did a Mystery Science Theater 3000 themed stream? Get the fuck out of here. He had no clue.
A very quality stream, may I add.
It was really fun. But the thing is they had no clue that that's what was happening, because first off, they were live on stage while it was happening. And second, right after that, they are, looking at all the feedback from what's going on. Trust me, they had no clue when they made that decision what they were cutting out. And they had their intentions for what their intentions were, where they don't want, I think that in their mind, they want to control their content, but at the same time, they have to understand, like, what their foot is on Twitch and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know if we've discussed this, Bored, at all. What are your thoughts about them streaming only on their website?
Well, it's ridiculous. I mean, we're talking about exposure for their game. They want as much exposure as possible,
and they are cutting it out completely.
Well, they're not. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so they might as well stream on YouTube and Twitter, more exposure, especially now. Yeah.
On Twitch, yeah. You said Twitter, but you mean Twitch, right?
Yeah, Twitch.
Okay.
Twitch and YouTube as well.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. But
you can record on Twitter.
But now other content creators are going to be restreaming it as well. So they are going to have a presence there. Why wouldn't they also want an official presence? They can stream to everything.
Yeah, because now they're doing exactly what they don't want to do. Thank you, Perry Helion, for the sub. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. And I'll really thank your subs after me and Bored are done talking. Obviously, this is really fun. So so now they're getting exactly what they don't want to do. Here's the other thing: is we don't exactly know where they're streaming and if it's only on their website, right? Is the official one only on their website? I don't know. Say hi to Bored Gamer, Emmy.
Hi, Bored Gamer.
Hey, twerk sister.
You said, "Hey, twerk sister."
You get looking good.
But so now they're doing exactly what they don't want to do. Is now, like, we're going to be doing the Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing again on my channel this year instead of Sources, because Source is going to be there. So now, is that going to be the top channel in the Star Citizen directory on Twitch while they're doing their event? That should never be the case.
Yeah, I mean they should. And I've emailed them and tweeted them saying,
"Am I gonna have 20,000 viewers?" Right? Or am I gonna have 10,000 viewers, something like that, because I'm the top one and people are interested in seeing what happens at CitizenCon? That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
they are.
If you also stream on YouTube, if you restream on YouTube, there's going to be a lot of people watching.
Yeah, and that's happening also. There's not going to be a chat there, but there'll be a restream on YouTube, because I want to cut that. I want to have the full thing, and then I want to cut it into pieces for each little event to have on the YouTube channel, on the Redacted YouTube channel. So that's really bad. The reason that I want to restream their event is not to be the top person in the directory, is to not gain viewers, is not to gain subs. The reason I want to do it is for what I said before. It's to provide the people that I hang out with in this chat every day, and obviously a few more are going to trickle in, that better chat experience while watching the event. And for me to have a better chat experience while watching that event, right? So it like almost defeats the purpose of what they're trying to do. So do I hope that they live stream on Twitch? Hell yeah, I do. But, will it benefit me if they don't? Probably. Probably benefit me really well.
I think that's one of the things that people will have a bit of cognitive dissonance with believing us or listening to us a lot of the time, is that elitism in the way that CIG have wanted to do it in the past. So like the potential gating of watching CitizenCon, the fact you need to buy ships to play certain gameplay mechanics, that actually benefits our channels and our streams. because we can do it, and people are more likely to watch us because we are doing it, not fewer other people are doing it.
Yeah.
But that is bad for the game. And so it might be great short term, but it's bad long term for our channels when we want to get more people probably playing and watching the game.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, it's only going to do great things for your channel if they don't stream it as well. Well, yeah, it will in the short term. We'll get 20,000 people watching, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to help grow the channel or anything. It's just going to be a one day, like, one-off thing. But I again, like, I don't want that. That's not the reason for it, you know? Just, I'm not supposed to be the top channel in the directory when during CitizenCon. That's just silly. And the whole thing is they should be streaming on Twitter too, because I think you could do that. They should be streaming everywhere, reaching everywhere possible. And it just, I don't know. I don't understand. So we'll see.
Yeah, it just, I think that's what it is that there is a bit of a disconnect there. Like, we don't understand because it's so simple to us. Like, why wouldn't you want more exposure? Why wouldn't you do this? Why are you cutting that out? Like, and it just seems like a bit of madness.
Yeah. Yeah, stupid. We're gonna stream it on MySpace too. It'll be great. So yeah, I mean, God. I don't know. I thought that's the biggest issue that I had with anything. Like, I didn't care as much that they wanted to, like, put it behind a paywall or something like that. Because sure, you know, you want to do extra content, it's going to cost them money. I mean, I think the obvious way to do it, like, I'm sorry, Bored. I'm sorry. I haven't gotten a chance to watch your videos as much lately.
What?
I'm sorry.
This interview is over.
Well, it doesn't make sense for me to watch your videos since I already know what you're going to say. Because I pay attention just as much as you do. Right?
Okay.
Well, not as much as you do. Not as much as you do. Not as much, because you definitely go above and beyond. But for the most part, you and I have similar knowledge about what's going on with CIG. So for your channel is not for a person like me. It's for most people, but not for me. So I wonder, what did you think about the idea of them? Fuck, I lost my train of thought because I made the joke that I don't watch.
Oh yeah, the joke. Okay, yeah.
I actually do watch. I've watched a few lately actually, but okay, so they did the $20 thing, but like, I didn't care as much that they wanted to lock it behind a paywall because now I remember. I lost my train of thought, but I'm back on it. The end result was fine, right? They said, here are these digital packages that you can purchase and you get these cool little things, and it helps support us doing these extra things for CitizenCon. Like, how is it not just like if they did, the best part is if they did that from the start, do you know how many people would have bought that digital package?
Yeah, it would have been a lot more.
They would have paid for that crew.
That's why we constantly talk about communication. If they told us earlier their intentions, they could have been vetted, the anger could have been stopped, and they could have got more sales. I mean, it's as simple as that. I'm hoping that they realise the more transparent they are about even their intentions when it comes to marketing and gameplay and the game and the roadmap, the more transparent and the earlier they tell us, the better. Like, they have to know that now.
Now, last thing, and I'll let you go, because I said it was going to be like 10 minutes, and now it's been like an hour. Do you think that, it'll be two questions. Do you think there are people at CIG that are there to be like, no, this is a stupid idea, and they don't listen? Or do you think there are people at CIG that are like, no, that's a stupid idea, and don't speak up? We obviously know that Proxys works there. Do they... and he's been a part of this community for a long time. There's other members of the development team that were backers before they were developers. Should they do something like a community council? And it doesn't necessarily have to be members of the community. It could be members of the dev team that were community members before. That they can, before we make any decision that we're going to put out there as a marketing piece for the community, can you guys review this real quick? Here's an email. Look at it. 10 minutes. Oh, whoa, we got a major issue here. This ship was sold at this price. You know, like all those kind of things. You know, I mean, fuck this. This has to be NDA, so I can't share it. But there, you know, there's something that like I helped work on a long time ago for my own personal use that is used to help with those things now, or is being used. I think, I don't know, and I think that's the most I can say because I don't know if that would get me in trouble at all. But but do you think that they should maybe have members of the community, a community council, where they are heavily under an NDA, more than anything, that they vet some of these things with before they put them out?
I definitely think that is a solution. However, I'm quite aggressively against elitism. And I think that would breed some sort of elitism.
Me too. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, and a lot of them would be content creators, and there's already this elitist feeling about us because of the things that were provided to us over the last few years. With like me going to Gamescom, some of these people getting PCs. Like
Speak for yourself, mate. Speak for yourself.
You know,
I get nothing.
You come on. You didn't get nothing.
I mean, so the only thing that I potentially have got from CIG is potentially preferential treatment for studio tours. Maybe. I don't know. I constantly request them though. Like I constantly request them. So
okay.
There's a thing like with Gamescom and with PCs and stuff, there is no way I am taking anything off CIG unless it is made so clear to people that they are not paying for them with community funds, with game funds. Like if Intel are giving me the money, fucking great. If something like that, if it's entirely paid for by someone else that is not backer money, that can't be any way traced to backer money.
Which seemed like that's what the PCs were.
Probably. Don't know.
Right? I don't know, but it seemed like that's what the PC thing was. Yeah. It was an Intel plus these other box companies. Like. I really don't think that money came from CIG. I think like the suggestion of who to use probably did, and that was it.
And the other thing is that taking anything from CIG will then have people calling me a shill and me less able to defend myself with, nope, never received anything other than a tea cup and saucer.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't ever get called a shill, though, and I've gotten more than 99% of the content creators. Mate.
You just got quick mods.
No. I mean, so occasionally I get called a shill, and then I'm like, are you fucking stupid? When was the last time you've been in this channel? Or, like, have you been here ever? Right?
Yeah.
It's always been the same thing here. It's not been, like, rainbows and all that stuff.
So what question am I answering?
Well, I think you already answered it, that you don't really think that there should be some sort of, like, a council where they reach out.
No. So I don't... Okay, so that is a solution to the problem. I don't like elitism though, but they do need someone to do that. Hopefully a staff member. Like you need someone's job to be vetting their marketing, vetting the patch content, and vetting what the community managers do and pushing for certain things.
Like, isn't that what a fucking community manager is?
Yeah, but so when I say vetting community manager, what I actually mean is pushing the community managers into doing certain more things. So going, you want this person to be on the pulse of the community, play the game, be part of lots of different communities, watch all the stuff, basically do similar things to what I do, but with a much better overview of the internal structure of CIG. And their job is to make sure that they don't fuck up. And go, no, don't do these weird competitions. Don't sell land claims. Don't try and sell virtual tickets. Like, that's going to go down bad. And also they can look around to see what stuff they should be talking about. Because I'm sure there's too much information for them to give us about every part of the game with 500 employees. Yeah. But if they had a dedicated person that's job was to look around and summarize what every team was doing, they could probably have a much better idea of what they should be telling the community at any one given time. Like, there's a lot to do with Star Citizen.
True, but that doesn't make sense from like a business standpoint to just hire all these people to manage that. I mean, I think
you only need one or two people to do that.
I mean, in the end, don't you think there should just be one last step before anything gets put out, and that person should actually know how we're going to react. Where it's very obvious that whoever the last person is to say, "Yep, push it," has no clue how we're going to react to a lot of these things. And then every week it's fucking damage control. There shouldn't have to be damage control every week.
So I agree with you, Twerk, but it's demonstrably shown that they don't do that.
But they have to. Like, that should be the goal. Like, that's what I said from the start of this, is that should be the promise in 2019. We know you got a lot of developers now. You're working on the game. Delays are going to happen. Whatever, right? I think what your community engagement has to get a lot better.
I think what it is that you need a person whose sole job, they know that they can say anything to anyone in the company. They can go up to Chris and they can say, "Chris, this is a shit idea."
Yeah.
And they don't have to worry about their job, or they worry about them not getting a raise or whatever. Like, you need someone that can talk about all of that to any member of staff.
But that'll never exist. I mean, because, like, does that mean that they have to listen to that person no matter what? I mean, I think
they don't have to.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. When they come to him, they don't just say this is a shit idea. They have to come and say this is a shit idea because, and have a nice laid out reason why and a plan for a solution.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that would be more of the overview of the job. Rather than say fuck off, Chris. Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I took that too literally for some reason.
They'd also provide. Well, no, that's probably better that you called me out on that, because that gets clipped separately.
Yeah,
use that massively out of context.
Yeah.
So, but you know what I mean, like,
of course.
Yeah. So you need someone that provides solutions as well, not just that's a bad idea. Okay, well, that's a bad idea. We've got a lot of people in the world that do that for everything, but let's provide a solution that's actually tenable.
Yeah.
So no. Yeah. It's a difficult one. Like, I love the idea of a community council, but then you have elitism. People will complain about it. I mean, if you did it right, it would be a great idea. It's free.
Can you do it right though? You know, there's always that. I even like enjoy Albion Online a lot, right? It's a game I play a lot these days, and there is a community council, and it's like these guys are all making and they're the guys that are like the heads of the biggest orgs, basically, or the best PvPers, are the ones that are choosing and deciding how the balance of certain weapons are going to work. And they may nerf the weapon that I just spent 2 months trying to level up.
Oh.
Right? And I have no say in the matter. You know, and all those things can happen because, you know, what if long term that there's a community council that
hey,
helps
Chris,
with balance of the game.
Twitch is the biggest gaming platform in the world. We shouldn't ignore that.
Maybe it's a good idea, but there would need to be a step that involves the player base in some way they can veto stuff so it gets looked at again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's because I have to deal with Brexit and the European Parliament a lot of the time.
Yeah.
In my daily politics. So the obscuring power there and loss of power is just, I like democracy. I like democracy.
IDD donated $1 and said, "Hey Chris, Twitch is the biggest gaming platform in the world. YouTube is still. We shouldn't ignore that. Am I hired now, Kappa? Obviously not. It's the second biggest gaming platform. YouTube is still the biggest. It's the biggest live streaming platform in the world now. Thanks, Ninja.
Yeah. I don't think that the 3.3.5 split is that terrible. I think it's annoying. I think it's depressing and it's an annoyance.
It's the same thing that we always have. It's nothing new. Yeah. This is nothing new. It's getting old.
Yeah, I mean,
that's really all it is.
Hopefully they'll get it in as quick as they can. Hopefully they'll continue to be better and better at communication. But they've still got a long way to go. And I can't use the excuse that I've been using over the last few years that they are a junior company. That
they have more people now than a lot.
And they're getting older.
Yeah.
Like, they're no longer a wee baba, they're a toddler.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
Right, I'm going. I need the toilet, otherwise I'm going to die.
All right, yeah. And then somebody said, Torque17 Board Gamer, put this on one of your YouTubes, please. I don't know. I'd put it on mine if you cared or not.
Yeah, chuck it up on yours and I'll retweet it. If you cut the thing.
Yeah, a little mini podcast. Pretty cool. Well, thanks for stopping on board.
No worries. Mate, poke me anytime, whether it's in Discord or whatever. I'm happy to come and say hello.
We'll do. Like whenever these things happen, I would love to bring you on and talk to you. It's fun. Like the old days.
No worries. Like the old days.
Yeah, man.
Uncut, brutal. This is why let's have a bit of a rant about things.
Yeah, man. Go pee. I don't want you to have an accident.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. I love you. See you soon.